Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on August 3rd, 2022. I've got MarioTheRecruiter.com. He's specializes in clearance jobs in the United
IT.
States. Okay. Plus other things. Okay. He's a hard guy to be. He's so diverse, it's hard to pin him down. Ivan is here. He's going for a speed walk or a power walk in the park, so he doesn't want to show you him bouncing. He showed himself to us. He's here. He was bouncing all around. I don't mind if he doesn't show that because it was just so jarring. Okay. So anyway, we're going to start off with just the two of us, and I'll just do clang.so. That's Ivan's applicant tracking
ATS.
system. Yeah, I shouldn't start the show with an ad for this guy, okay? But
Yeah.
I will. He's
He's
an
a nice
IT
guy.
recruiter in Switzerland, and he's got a lot of spare time, so he built his own applicant tracking system, and you should go check it out. It's Clang, KLANG.SO. Is it?
Thank you. This was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, what am I going to start with? Doggy. Who wants to buy a little doggy? You know, we have a month-long or 3-week-long like state fair here called the Canadian National Exhibition. And I used to work for a company that sold T-shirts there, and I had to deliver shirts every day. And there was a booth across from ours. The guy was there for years, and he used to do that thing, doggy. Doggy. Who wants to win a little doggy? All these years later, I remember it. But the point is, the thing from the show last week that got me the most was the candidate wants to take his dog to the interview, and I can't see why not. Okay, I know we beat it to death last week, but I just want to bring it back. If my candidate wants to take the dog, she can take it, okay? Because that shows what she's going to be like to work with.
No, I don't agree with it. If there's a way to screw things up, they're going to find a way to screw things up, okay? And trust me, I did that last week, okay? I found a way to screw something that was working out, all right? By being a moron.
Well, you're not going to tell us the story, or
I'll tell it to you generally, okay? What happened, we were trying to get a candidate hired, okay? He was submitted at a particular salary range, okay? And he asked for 5K more, okay? All right?
Yeah.
So he cleared the technical interview and they want to hire him, all right? So the HR came back to me saying, since you submitted him at the lower salary range, we will consider that as part of the agency fees, okay? But, I was okay with that. I accepted it.
Are you going to make this as boring as you possibly can? Think about it. Speed it up.
Okay, so then what happened is then they came back to me saying they want 2 more extra months. So I told them, if you're going to do that, you're going to charge it a higher fee. And now it's in gone deal. So if there's a way to screw things up, I kind of figure it out.
I don't really understand his story, but I don't want him to tell it again, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm moving on, okay?
I'm ranting on that.
I'm moving on. I know it bothers you, okay? What about this? Here's the reason people leave. It's an acronym, MOM, mom, okay? Does anybody here know what that stands for? Mom? I like it. Anybody know? I'll give it to you.
No
Money, opportunity, and management. I like that. Mom.
You can reverse it also.
What?
You can reverse that also. Why people stay.
That's called a palindrome, a word that goes the same backwards and forwards, okay? Just like the name Otto. Okay, let me see. Next. Okay, I don't think you have, but somebody was telling me about a recruiting company called Christian and Timbers. They are very famous. They're replacing CEOs. I know Jeff Christian got busted for drugs quite a few years ago. He's still got a headhunting company, but I never heard of them. And they're really something. I was hoping somebody here had heard about them. And so it would tell me about them, but okay, you haven't. That's okay.
The correct guy you need to get on the show is David Perry. He may know that.
Oh yeah, he'd know for sure. Okay, here's what somebody says. Yeah, okay. I've been seeing more and more candidates ask me about compensation in an email before they're willing to schedule a call. How do you handle that? She said, I don't mind providing that information up front, but lots of recruiters don't agree. What about you, Mario, can you
Hey,
put
it depends. I'm sorry. It depends. Okay.
Why?
Sometimes we tell them the range. That's the max we do.
Okay, but would you put it in email? That's the point here.
Yeah, why not?
Well, some people say, look, I would rather tell
Yeah,
them. I don't mind telling them, but I don't want to put it in writing for them to pass around to other people.
No, what's the big deal? It's an open. I mean, I don't agree with that. That's kind of what do you call this term for that? I mean, it's kind of like paranoid. You think people are jobless enough to sit and send emails? This company's offering this salary and keep on forwarding it like a spam mail or something.
Some people also said, look, you know what? I don't like giving it out because sometimes the company's way more flexible than I think.
So
but you know what? That's kind of rare.
Range.
I think that's a bit rare. Yeah, you give them the range. There's problems with that.
I'd say there's some flexibility depending on
the
experience.
more we talk about it, the more I'm inclined to, just give them a figure and say, hey, it might be more flexible than that. Who knows? But this is what I'm working with, right? And there's no guarantee you're going to get the top end. I just have to tell you, it's based on your experience. But that's what I'm working. And just get it out of there, and not worry. Am I telling them too much information? Am I not telling them much? It's like, with a fish, you're trying to reel it in based on how much information about the salary and whether you give them the salary up front or not, or you wait. Get it over with. That's what everyone's saying, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing.
Agreed.
Okay, Ivan, do you want to get in on this? You can say no.
No.
Okay, fine. Okay. Next topic. Okay. Yeah, next topic. Okay. Actually, I'll just read you the script. She sends him a note. While this will depend greatly on the skill level, you may see a salary in the range of XYZ, and I'm happy to schedule a call to discuss it more in detail and see where you need to land. I would never use those words, but that's not bad. That's her script. Well, this will depend greatly on your skill level or anybody's skill level. You may see a salary in the range of A to B, and I'm happy to schedule a call to discuss it in more detail and see where you need to land. Okay. What about this one? Here's the case. This person has a client that gives them lots of business. Okay. That's number one. He worked with them a few months ago, and he got a job from them recently. He thought about a candidate he sent out a few months ago, and that candidate struck out, but he wanted to check with her again. So he did, and it turned out the candidate was hired by the client. They didn't tell him, but she'd left already. Okay, she only lasted 4 months. Should he bill them? Mario.
Business that he got from them?
It's a clear no. Okay, the candidate's not there. They're not going to want to pay. They're giving you business. They're giving you business. Why aggravate them? Just keep your eye on them in the future. If you send someone out to an interview, check every month to see if she's working there after they rejected her. They're cheats and liars. You know it. But maybe not all the time. And maybe it's just some goof in the company. Maybe there's, a few different hiring managers. One of them's not trustworthy and the others are good people. Okay. So don't blow it. Don't blow it, but watch them. That's my advice. And Mario agrees with me.
Agreed.
And I'm sure Ivan does too. Okay.
Yes. No, I didn't follow. But
okay,
you're generally a very
now.
smart man. It's very generally, I do agree with your mindset of being reasonable in every situation. I really like this about your animal.
Thank you.
No worries.
Okay. What about when you're doing business development, you call up the company and say, hey, I'm a headhunter. I specialize in, sardine processing quality control managers, and I see that you've got an ad in the paper looking for one. I'm wondering if we can do business together. And the person you're speaking to says, look, we've got an internal recruiter, or we've got an internal recruiting team. What's your comeback? Well, if there is one, or if you just say,
comeback for that.
No.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, look. Well, listen. How about if I check back in a month and see how that search is going? See if they've had success. I won't
Yeah.
bug you, but I'll check back. Is that okay?
I think that's a standard objection they use in. I've come
Yeah, but
across
it might
many
be true.
calls.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah,
if
so
they've
that's what you
got,
ask another. Normally, we ask another question. I mean, is it? I mean, depends on on the tone of the guy's voice. I mean, you can go. I tend to go like, is that your standard response to any recruiter who calls in, or am I special?
so, oh, you mean, oh, you feel, look, you're
Yeah,
saying,
so-
look, are you lying to me just to brush me off, or is that real? Is that what
Sometimes
you're
it
saying?
goes well. Yeah, sometimes you get the phone slammed on my face. Okay, so I'm kind of got used to it.
Well, I mean, you're accusing the person of lying. Are you saying?
No,
that
it's not like that.
just
It's
a
like,
brush off?
is it standard brush off, or is it like, it's supposed to be a, what do you call, they have a term for it. I mean, these guys say it's like changes the way of thinking or something like that. It's a
How about
pattern
this?
interrupt.
How about this? Look,
Pattern
I understand
interrupt,
you
yeah.
don't want to date me. You just want to be my friend. But I'm
I
a
don't
guy
want to
who
be friends
doesn't
with you.
give up much. I'm going to give you a call back in a month and see if maybe you've changed your mind. Or, if it hasn't worked at other date you've been on, you didn't like your prom date, you might want to give me a try. Something a little wittier. I'm not saying that was the good witty stuff, but
That's not bad.
if you've got a hook or some kind of metaphor or something that they might find amusing.
I mean,
Problem is-
you don't say it in a crude way. You laugh and say it out. You chuckle. So is that your
I can't
standard?
force my chuckles.
Yeah.
I'm not a good faker. I'm not a good liar. I'm not a good faker. I'm not good on the spot. I don't think well on my feet. I'm not really funny. I'm not witty. That's a problem. But somebody else might be. Okay. There's some people who are quick.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's
Even I
lots
am
of people
fast,
who
so-
make good money who aren't. Okay. What is here? This is good if we had 6 people here. Okay. But
Yeah,
what's
seriously.
something, this was a good question, I thought. Somebody said, what is something you used to do in recruiting that you never do now? You want me to run through some of theirs, or do you have
Please
some?
go through. Please go through. I'm just
Okay.
curious.
One guy says, and I thought this was interesting. He said, and he's a trainer, okay? He said, I never do interview preparation anymore with my candidates unless they ask me to. Here's why. It seems like whatever I would tell them to say or do, they would turn around and do the exact opposite, right? And these were long phone calls. They weren't worth my time. Absolutely. Here's the problem with interview prep. If someone's, not a good communicator or whatever, they're not going to change overnight. If only it was true, we could improve ourselves just like that, but we can't, everybody. So you're not going to change people. Although there's some things I assume you can point out to them. Okay. Anybody want to get in on that? No?
What is the next bit, please?
Okay. But what do you think about his statement? Like, it's not worth it.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, I agree with it.
Okay, you don't seem like
Rich
a guy
should get
who
on
wants
this.
to coach people anyway.
Oh,
Get
seriously,
out
who
there,
wants to
see
waste
if you can
time?
get the job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the idea.
Okay.
Oh, we give them a hint or two. I mean,
Well, what kind
it's
of
not we
hints?
don't.
What kind of
Like,
hints?
see, you need to be, well, based on the previous interviews, we give them some feedback, like, see what happened, what are they looking to focus on, what you need to focus on, what you need to strengthen up with. That's it.
Okay, so to show the technical things that.
Yeah, the technical skills.
Okay, but
Because
here's the question.
sometimes
Go ahead.
they are, for example, we had a very strong data scientist guy, okay, and he was so well versed with the latest tech, he's kind of not that thorough with the previous tech. Okay, think of it like this. All right, he's an old guy, so we told him we need to focus on this, and this is what they're going to go through for you. So he focused, he cracked the job.
He got it?
Yeah, he got it. I'm proud to say he got it. He's awesome. Very nice guy.
Good for you.
I like
Okay.
him.
Okay, I don't think you're allowed to say someone's old anymore, even if they're over 80. Okay,
Good. Oh,
here's the guy. He said, I don't waste time with candidates that are playing hard to get. I never heard that before, but that's kind of interesting. He's trying to recruit passive candidates. If they're not interested right away, I don't try to lure them. I don't try to seduce them. Okay. Reel them in. Buzz
Yeah.
off. You're not interested. I'm not going to kiss your ass. Okay. That's his attitude. I thought that was interesting. What do you think, Mario?
agreed.
You agree,
He's
you agree with
very
everything. These guys are agreeing with
These
everything
guys
today.
know more than me, so I'm going to agree with them.
I don't know more than you. You're better than
No,
me.
trust me,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
You got
Okay.
years of experience on me.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm like one of these guys who does the first year 20 times. Okay. That's me. Okay. I'm not someone who grows. Okay. And you can tell it just the way I talk on the show. Hey, but here's the same guy. He says, I stopped feeling bad, wasting my time feeling bad for nice candidates that don't turn out to be a fit. He said he used to try to find them something else because, he's a bleeding heart. Enough of that. They're not in. It's showing. That's it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but that's the world.
That's the world. He's not their mother. He's trying to earn a living, okay?
Hey, even our mothers ain't so kind sometimes, so.
Yeah, okay. My mother was pretty nice. Okay. Okay. Here's one. Don't forget the question we're working on. It's what did you used to do that you don't do anymore? And this person named Ardell says, I don't believe candidate excuses for having to reschedule interviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's been burned. She's been burned too many times.
My
right?
God, we have all been burned.
And there's other people who agree. Corey said, I don't chase potential candidates who miss scheduled calls, who don't follow up after I send them information, and just show a lack of any motivation. This relates to the guy who says he doesn't pursue hard to get candidates. Okay. If they say, oh, send me some information and they don't get back to me, forget about it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think I have the courage to do that. Walk away. I try to get them.
It depends on what his niche is.
What?
It depends on what his niche is. Sorry.
Why? Give me what makes you say that?
Okay. Let's say, for example, you're working a position where you have only 30 to 40 people specifically in the geographical area that are fit for that role. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are, just imagine the position pays you 70 to 80K as a placement fees. Obviously, you're going to go behind everyone, no matter what. Correct?
I don't know what you're saying. People. I don't know
what
you're saying.
In a the position requires the candidate to be in the geographical area.
Yes, and example, you've got 40 people. What are you going to waste time with any one of them for?
No, because you have only 40 people. If you go through the whole list, you're going to go back to each of them again. And you're not able to find someone, then you're going to have to chase someone.
Okay.
Think of it that way.
Okay.
That's how it works for us, right? We work clearance roles. Only there are a bunch of 20 people with that skill set, with that clearance level that is active in that area.
So what do you go by? You just send another email or you phone and say, listen, you said we were going to get back. I haven't heard from you yet. What's the story?
Yeah,
what do you say?
Hey,
what do you say?
We sent you the data. We sent you the email. What's up? That's it. You're interested or not? That's it. If they're not interested, we can't do more than that.
Okay. How many times will you try to get them?
I have tried 5 times.
Okay. After that initial, 5 times.
Yeah.
That's 5 times.
And finally, I told to buzz off. So I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you. Check off.
Sarah says, this is the reverse. She says, I stopped trying to convince a hiring manager to consider an applicant they have no interest in. Now, she says applicant instead of candidate. So I'm assuming she's internal and there's resumes coming in. But I think if you've gone out of your way to recruit someone, a passive candidate, you might have more of a commitment to say, hey, this is a good candidate. Don't say no, okay? If I think this is a good person and I've worked hard to find that person, no, I'm not interested. No way you're getting away with that. No way, okay? I don't agree with her. What about you, Mario?
I agree with you.
You agree with me?
He's
agreeing with me about everything. What kind of show is it today? Okay.
Today's a
Ivan won't even say anything unless I ask. Oh yeah, you're a smart guy. I agree with you. Okay.
No, I mean, you made a fair point.
Okay. I believe that you won't let a hiring manager get away with that. If they say, I'm not interested in this person and you think they're good, you'll become like a trial lawyer and press their case.
No. It won't work. No, he's saying, let me hear the hiring manager. Unless I have a very good relationship with them personally, I cannot, push them.
Okay. Layla says she never starts working on an open position anymore before receiving an official requisition. She's internal. It's not like she's sending a fee agreement and she waits to get it approved and signed before she starts. There's something very similar internal. She has to get paperwork that says this is a real job before she starts working on it. She doesn't trust the hiring managers either. And she's internal. She works with the same people regularly. She knows what they're like. There you go, right? No, that's true. Those internal corporate people, they say what they have an advantage over the external recruiters. They know these guys. They work with them every day. They know their stupid tricks, okay? And she won't trust them. That tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right, Mario?
Agreed.
Okay.
You don't work with them unless we have a signed agreement with them.
Okay.
At least we try to protect ourselves.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we know that, but she's internal. Mind you, a tough guy, Ernie, the mafia boss. He says he works with people.
Don Ernie.
Yeah, he works with people without a signed fee agreement. I think he said that, but maybe
Animal, you need to understand what that's Ernie we're talking about. He'd take the phone and say, you know, you made Ernie very sad right now, and that's shipping bricks and
Ernie's not happy.
Over.
Yeah, that's what he said. Ernie's not happy. Yeah,
Ernie's
okay.
not
And
happy.
when you hear
Make
that,
me happy now.
yeah, if Ernie's not happy, I'm not happy. Or that's what he says. If Ernie's not happy, you shouldn't
You know what
be
he's gonna
happy.
say? He's gonna say, I'm not happy. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you not happy also.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Priya says she will say, here's something she doesn't do anymore. Check references. I think references are important. Okay. What about you? You don't check references, do you?
We don't. We let them check their own, get their own things done.
Okay. Sophie says, now she's an internal, she's corporate. And I found this interesting. She doesn't answer all candidates who message her on LinkedIn. I don't blame her. I've got so many people sending me messages. They want to connect with me. They want me to help them.
Become a shit show on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, what can I do? I used to send messages back, waste a lot of time trying to make suggestions and stuff. And this is what process you should follow. Now it's just ignore. And you know what? I'm a lot happier. Okay.
Yeah.
That's something I used to do that I don't do anymore. I'm just like her. I don't answer. We can only handle so much. Isn't that true, Mario?
Agreed. Totally agreed. By the way, I'm out of LinkedIn jail, okay? I got out of jail. I'm out of jail on bail.
Congratulations.
Thank
you know what?
It's a
I
great
noticed that
achievement.
because when these shows, I post them on LinkedIn. I don't know if anyone ever follows them to YouTube, but I link to the people who show up, right? And I was trying to link to his, and it didn't exist. That page doesn't exist anymore. Right?
Took my page down for a minute.
I mean, when he was in jail, he became a non-person. You could still find you on Google, but it didn't go anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, true.
And I got to tell you, in his name, he's got so much garbage. I don't agree with it at all. Even Ivan has a little smiley guy or something like that after his name, a little icon. I delete it. When I put Ivan's name in, he was on the show, I delete that. But this guy, Mario, he's got a whole sentence. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, and it's hard for me to delete it sometimes.
Companies, one candidate at a time.
Yeah, make building great companies. I have to watch it because if I delete that stuff, sometimes his name goes with it, and I have to spend like 10 minutes trying to get the guy's name in.
I'm going to change it this month. Okay, I'm going to change it. All right,
Good.
I got sick of it.
I'm a social media expert. No one's ever given me credit for being that, okay? Okay, finally, Ted. And this was a big discussion, and I found it very interesting. Ted said he used to format resumes before he sent them in to his client, and now he doesn't do it anymore. And there was a lot of discussion about it, and I was convinced by the people who do format resumes, or like I do, they format their notes, okay? So it's so the hiring manager doesn't have to just read randomly looking for the key stuff. It's all laid out in a standard format, and it gets straight to the point. These stupid candidates don't know how to write a resume. Why leave the hiring manager at the mercy of their incompetence when you know what you're doing? Okay, do you agree with me about that? No, you don't.
I do.
Okay.
You got to format the stuff. If not, it's going to be so easy that when the hiring manager looks at the resume,
Yes.
or the profile, or the email you send, they should know if this guy's a fit or not.
Yeah.
Just by the notes that we make based on our conversation, they should know if it's a fit.
You got me excited now. It should be so easy. They can pick it up at
Why
a glance.
complicate matters?
Yeah. Okay. Well, no. That's a perfect segue. That's a word I don't like, but I use it. Everybody else does. Once these garbage words start filling the air, it's almost impossible not to use them yourself. Although some of them, like empathize instead of sympathy or sympathize, I will never use that word, okay? And don't expect it from me, you morons who don't even know there's a word sympathize in the world. Shame on you, okay? Yeah. But here's the thing. I run a group. I run 3 groups on Facebook. One's called Recruiters Online. Okay, that's a discussion group for recruiters. But the members told me to get all the ads off of it a few years ago, so I set up another one, Jobs for Recruiters. It's just for people to post jobs for recruiters and recruiters to request jobs, and for people who want split partners as well. I'm not doing an ad for it. I'm setting up the story, okay? So these idiots, they're recruiters. They post stuff. They want a job. Like, I want job, here's my phone number. And they don't tell you. You think they give a thumbnail sketch all the time of who they are or post a link to their LinkedIn profile? So they never do. And sometimes it just makes me mad. Well, give me a second and I'll finish. So I posted a big sign. I said, look, if you're requesting a job, you put a link to your LinkedIn profile in there, or I'm going to delete your posting. Okay. And holy cow, these people, there were so many of them, they went into a rebellion. I don't have a LinkedIn profile and I don't need one. And this is wrong for you, recruiting animal, to make that demand. I couldn't believe it. A recruiter who doesn't have a LinkedIn profile? Go ahead.
Have you heard of the term from Jerry Seinfeld's show, master of your own domain?
Yeah, that means you...
Yeah. But let's use it here, okay? You're the master of your group. You can decide what goes on there. Second thing is, this shows what kind of recruiters they are. I mean, not to shoot at anyone, but hey, even I learned and improved over time. But if you can't market yourself, how are you going to market your candidates?
Well, that's the thing. Some of them said, okay, first of all, I think this, I run the group. It's my domain, okay?
Yeah,
I don't get paid for it. I want to make it easy for them to work. I mean, if you want someone to see your stuff, they're a hiring manager. And you know what? To my surprise, people have testified, hey, I got a job through this group. And then like 20 people will say, yeah, so did I, in the comments. I'm surprised it's worthwhile.
They want it easy, but that's not how it works.
No, I want it easy. I want to make sure.
So they want to just post a number, or at least they can post a LinkedIn profile and say, hey, I've seen some postings, okay? And those guys were awesome. They mentioned that they did this, did this. I wanted to hire one of them. Unfortunately, he was out of my range.
The hiring manager can just, like Mario, can just scan down, like you said, take at a glance, the formatted resume. You look at it, you can see, hey, this person's interesting. I'm going to get in touch with that person. And if it's not a thumbnail sketch right there, put in a link to your profile, right? So these idiots are saying, you know what? I'm recruiting drivers or I'm recruiting plumbers. They're not LinkedIn. But what about you, you stupid jerk? You're looking for a job. For a job.
Actually, the saddest part today is that LinkedIn has become the backbone of most recruiters. Okay, and that is true.
Yeah.
All right. Because we are not from the 1980s, we are from the 2000s onwards, some from 2010 onwards. Okay. And what has happened is we are dependent on LinkedIn for our marketing. So, I mean, if you're not on LinkedIn, that means what are you? Let's not take the old school guys. The old school guys are different.
I don't know. I don't know about international, because all these other countries might have, India, for instance, or China might have their own professional sites.
LinkedIn is the topmost site.
Oh yeah, I know it is, because I get all these people asking me for help from every part of the world, far away from us. Anyway, but so the point is, it was paid for by $25 billion by Microsoft. It's the central professional identity roster in the world. It's the 21st century. It really does make sense, okay? And these idiots are recruiters, and they're saying, I don't have a LinkedIn profile. How dare you? Oh, they pulled the Greta on me. How dare you? How dare you? Okay, how dare? So, I said, okay, you know what? If you don't have a LinkedIn, just put a profile in, but I have to be a policeman on these groups, even though I'm not getting paid. Okay. And they're making placements. They're hiring people. Right, Mario?
Yeah. I don't know. Have you seen the show Spitting Image on from the BBC?
I know what it is. I never.
You must see that there's a
right?
There's a Greta impersonation. You just killed it, okay?
Okay.
And I agree with you on that point. All right. See, the problem is people don't want to learn. They want to get offended, and they don't want to fix themselves. That is the biggest problem with humanity today.
Okay, well, Maureen Sherrod, my good friend who used to be a regular on the show, she used to read all the Twitter postings for me and tell me what was going on. She's a super sorcerer, okay? And she used to go and teach at corporations. They would bring her in, right? And she would mention LinkedIn. And Maureen is the opposite of someone who depends on LinkedIn, okay? She does her sourcing old style. And she would say, this is 10 years ago, at least, she would go into these corporations and they would have a whole team of recruiters and they wouldn't know what LinkedIn is. Okay, 10 years ago, I thought they were stupid then, so did she. But this is 2022 and they still, LinkedIn? I don't need it. What do I need that for? Okay, I won't go on anymore, but I was shocked, okay? I was shocked. Okay.
Okay, I mean... Okay, let's not go into that.
We're done.
See, there may be a time when we cannot use LinkedIn. I accept that when they become too strict, too crazy. But still, at least to have your presence on the web, you need LinkedIn.
If you're, I believe that like Jerry used to say, Jerry always contradicts me. As I point out, whenever I say Jerry used to say, he'll say, no, I didn't. But he said it all the time. He said, I don't need a website. I don't need people to find me. He's a headhunter, right? He goes finding them. But you know what? People today, if you're a headhunter and you contact them, smart ones will look you up on LinkedIn, okay? You have to have a profile.
Or they'll check our website. That's
okay, I don't believe you need a website either. If you're a headhunter who goes up to passive, I think it's a good idea, but I don't think you absolutely need it. It's not
okay. Let's take this further. For a customer, you're approaching a customer. If you don't have a website, you think they're going to sign up with us? A cold customer, a new person.
You know what? If you did the sell, say, look, you find my LinkedIn profile, you won't find a website for me. You know why? Because I don't have people coming to me. I go after targeted potential candidates. I don't have a flood of pizza drivers calling me up for your job and then sending out the resumes. I don't waste my time with that. You could sell into that weakness, I believe, Mario, although you have a point. I won't say you don't.
Fair enough. That's nice.
Okay, I'm in a fight mood. It's too bad there's not more people to fight with today. I got a guy who
Rich is on vacation. So
whatever you say.
No, come on. Rich is on vacation, right? So
now here's something else I'll mention. Okay, we had Gavin Johnson on last week, right? And he posted afterwards. He said, I had a great time. Okay. He said, I can't believe that the recruiting animal didn't understand. He had all these stupid ideas. But the point is, he had a good time. And how come we don't have guests anymore? I've done this show since 2007, but it was never until this year and last year, maybe, that there's no guests. Now, the thing is, we got a regular crew and I like them. So we don't really need guests like we used to. And maybe I never really needed them, but it surprises me because when these people actually come on, they have fun. I mean, what's with them? Why aren't they beating our door down? Okay. If they're looking for a job, they could come here and show everybody how great they are and then post it on their YouTube link on the group, my job for recruiters.
Why not? That's a brilliant thing. They should make use of it.
Yeah.
People don't want to put in the effort. That's the problem. They want to show. They want to show themselves.
Yeah, most of them maybe they wouldn't want to put themselves.
Even I was in the same position once. Okay, one day I thought, fuck it, and just got on the show. And I think you should remember that a DSP was on that day. Okay, and then after that I started getting in regularly into the show. All right,
Well,
So
gee, I was going to say if I don't blurt out what's on my mind, it just goes away. Okay.
yeah.
But I was going to say something about that. And oh yeah, there used to be people on the show until 2021. It was all audio, right? And there were
Yeah.
a number of people, regulars, and they were looking for jobs. And people would say they would either put it on their resume, I'm a regular on the Recruiting Animal Show, or they would go in for interviews and the guy say, I know who you are. I heard you on the show. I don't think it happens anymore, but it used to.
You never know. You know something? Priya got a client from the show.
Oh, really?
She said that once. Yeah, someone called after watching the show and they reached out to her.
You know what? She's a very good on air. I mean, like
Yeah, she's
she's
awesome.
somebody. If I were
She knows her
her, I would
job.
not be shy to put a link to my Recruiting Animal Show appearances, and she's been on a number of times. So go ahead. We're going on to advertise the show for 10 minutes, and people, I don't know if they want to hear about that.
I mean, except when she got it from us on the show, that was a bad time. Okay.
What?
Remember, we pulled her leg for asking about where I'm located. Do you remember?
No, I
On
can't
the
even
show.
hear what
Okay,
you're saying.
I'm sorry. I said we pulled her leg when she
About
started
what?
to ask us about my location, where we stayed, where I lived. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And she was not happy about it. Okay. So
Okay.
let's not go into that. Okay.
Okay.
Next
Let's
topic.
go with
Let's
that.
go.
Okay.
But the show is awesome. I certify
Okay,
the show.
fine. Thank you
Anyway,
very
you
much.
should watch it.
Thank you very much. Okay, okay. I've blown my own horn enough for a little while. Okay, so what about this fee agreement? Okay, dear hiring manager, this is one clause in a fee agreement. The exact script. Dear hiring manager, feedback is our lifeblood. It guides our work. If we send someone to you and don't get any feedback, we can't consider your search active, and we'll move on to something else. That's pretty polite and straightforward.
Love that.
Yeah, isn't it good? It's good. It's from Sarah. I don't know if everybody wants their name.
But not everyone can mention that in their fee agreement.
What?
Not everyone can mention that animal. It depends on if you're talking to the VP or something, or the president, and who directly, I mean, works.
That goes into the fee agreement, okay? And I
it's
asked
more like
her,
an unwritten rule when you talk with them.
Rich puts it in his fee agreement. That's another question. I asked, is there a recruiting cult? Because people talk about cults, right? And the only cult I could think of is we got the cult of Rich here, okay? Did you see the picture I put on the front with you and me? We got the cult of Rich. Only thing, we don't agree with everything that Rich says, but he's got that. The reason it came to mind, he's got that in his contract, which he gave us, and he doesn't kid around. And I think he specifies 48 hours. If I don't hear back from you in 48 hours, that's it. I'm not working your search or something like that.
He's working with the sales guys, right? So he needs to be.
So what? You can't. She's right. Sarah's right. You can't work the search if you're sending out people and they're not telling you if they're right or wrong.
Yeah, we follow up if we don't get feedback. So we bug the
Trust
hell
me,
out of it.
Amy is inside a big corporation, and if her guys, I'll represent her just like Rich says. I make them seem too tough. She's here by myself now. She'll say the same thing. But, if her hiring managers don't give her feedback on time, man, my impression is she'll go in there and slap them around. What she actually says is it's one of the 10 recruiting rules. Dear hiring manager, I'll put into it as much as you will. Okay. If you're not willing to give me feedback, that means you're on your own. Okay. You're on your own. What's next? Okay. New job jitters.
I mean, think about it, how insulting it is, right? If you basically the value of a candidate drops with time, right? So if you do not react, all the work of the recruiter gets worthless because the person will not be on the market for too long. So it's like a shelf life. It's like a fruit or food. You can't let it stand for 3 days, otherwise it's spoiled, and the cook will be also angry, right? If you don't eat the food for 3 days. So it's the same here. It has many layers of showing disrespect to not react quickly to a
I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
like what you're saying, and I would actually say that to somebody, but I don't think you would, Ivan, Iwan. I don't think you would
Yeah,
say
no,
that.
actually, I mean, there was nothing. Why wouldn't I say that? It was very like descriptive, like using
See,
an
not
image,
only
right? I
see,
think
but the
it's
point is you
effective.
have to make
So,
for them. I think you have to elaborate the reality a bit more than that allegory or metaphor. In that, look, once I activate somebody, Joe Blow is going ahead doing his job. All of a sudden, I put in his ear that he might be able to get something better or more interesting. Okay, then he's not only looking at your company, he's open to everything.
Yeah,
Anybody,
that's true.
any, he sees an ad, anything, he's on the move. And I put him there, and now you're leaving him open for somebody else. You think I'm crazy? Okay, you're
yeah.
either working with me or you're not. Are we partners, Mr. Hiring Manager or Ms. Hiring League Partners?
I don't think I
I
can
would
talk
never
like
say
that.
that to them because it's too
Yeah.
sucky. But that's what it's,
Yeah.
are we working this together or am I out here on my own? Okay. I gotta know.
That sounds like Jerry Seinfeld, I swear.
Honey, come back. I just can't stand it. That can't be. Okay, new job. I like to sing on the show, but I'm afraid I like to post these on Facebook too. And they recognize the song. The software says that belongs to Sony or somebody like that. We're not posting this for you. Screw you, Facebook. Okay. I'll mouth it. Okay. But you know what? Facebook has very good transcriptions. I noticed it last time. It's great. You can see all the stuff that we're saying that you can't understand because we don't speak well. Facebook understands it, and you click a button and it shows you exactly what we're saying. Not that anybody ever watches. I'll tell you something. Gavin, after he was here last week, he posted a link to the Recruiting Animals Show group, right, where I post these things on Facebook. And about 30 people joined the group just from him. He's way more popular than me. I run a group with 15,000 active members a month. I was shocked to see those numbers. They're probably inflated. But if I post a link to that group, nobody joins. Go ahead.
You should correct your statement. 15,000 recruiters.
Yeah, 50. Well, most
that's
of them
the best.
recruiters.
That's the biggest example you need to give. That's the reason.
Yeah, you'd think we'd be the most famous recruiters in the world, okay? Because I post these things all the time. We're not, okay? Gavin is way more famous than us. Okay. Here, dear fellow recruiters, I will be starting a new job. It's time's almost up. We're having fun, okay? Mario or Ivan, if you have something, it's wide open.
I don't know, I'm enjoying your conversation. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, new job jitters. Dear recruiters, I will be starting a new job in a few weeks as a corporate recruiter for an audio visual tech company. My experience prior to this was healthcare recruiting. I have zero, and he puts it in capitals, ZERO, zero knowledge of the tech industry. Is there anything I should do to prepare? Now, people gave him advice. Yeah. I only copied Amy's. Go ahead with yours first, Mario.
Find a recruiting agency that works in that niche and partner with them. You solve your problem.
Okay, so he doesn't have to do any work, okay?
Not do any work. No, you need to understand one thing. He is an internal recruiter. The best way for him to get things organized is via an agency that specializes in that field. Because they will have a database, they will have the candidates, they will know the ins and outs of that field.
Okay, but his employer is probably hiring him so they don't have to use it.
No, they may not. No, I don't think so. No, that's not the thing. They hire to handle the inbound traffic mostly.
No, I disagree. Okay,
I disagree with you at this point.
I disagree as well. I'm on the corporate side, and I can tell you that I come from a technical background before getting into recruiting, and I worked in agency, executive search, contract, staffing, etc. But I'm on the corporate side now, and a lot of the corporations will still partner with agencies, like typically more like RPO firms. But or like if they have like staff aug type projects like consultants, but like direct search type business is usually mostly done at the executive level and above. But as far as somebody learning technology that has no background in it, there's so much resources and, the internal hiring managers can be your best.
Okay, Dave. That's David Marr, everybody. Okay. I didn't even know he was here. Okay. But you got a nice voice. You speak well, but you didn't organize your thoughts fast enough. And I don't let people run on. You made your point in your first sentence. Why say it 10 times? Okay.
Fair enough.
Giving a background effect, a background to it, Animal.
Let's come back to this guy. No, let me come back. Okay. They hired, I'm going to assume that me and Dave are right on this one. They hired him. They don't want him job. But even if he was hiring these agencies like you advised, he still wouldn't learn the field from they would be doing all the work. Here's what Amy said. You learn from your hands-on. Now, Amy is recruiting rocket engineers or something like that for a division of a big company. And here's what she says, and she's got like 20 years experience. Yeah. She said, I have been in tech a while, 20 years, okay? But every time, she made an understatement. She's so modest, you know that, okay? but every time my team opens a role, it's like some wild shit reaction wheel engineer or loads in dynamics analyst. Crazy shit I've never heard of. She said, you'll be fine. Just do the job. Okay. You learn it on the job. That's what she claims. Nobody? Dave?
No, I mean, I agree you can learn it on the job, but if you want to be effective from the start, you need to figure out how to get it done.
Okay. Well, how could that person?
So recruiting is recruiting, right?
Yeah.
Whether
I agree with you at that point.
So you know how to recruit. If you don't know how to recruit, you shouldn't be in the role, agency or corporate. So the key is learning the domain knowledge. The domain knowledge you can learn by watching YouTube videos and essentially reading books and just getting off your ass and working.
I don't know. Just like they said, one of the other questions I have here, we've only got a few minutes left, is that a tech manager, like a software engineering manager, it's his software skills and his management skills or hers are more important than their technical skills. Okay, they don't have to be the smartest technical person in the room, but they have to know how to assess the person's work, or if they're hiring somebody to ask them, like Elon Musk, his favorite question apparently is, I have to fly. It's something about what they actually did. I think, but so he said, if you ask them for a detailed description of what they've done, only by looking at the details can you actually know if they know their stuff or they're bluffing. So you have to have detailed domain knowledge, like Dave was saying, in order to do the recruiting job right. Okay, that stuff about recruiting is recruiting, that's only half the story. I'll give Dave a chance to rebut me if he wants to.
No, I was just saying that whenever you start off in recruiting, right? I'm assuming that anybody that's going to make a major transition from healthcare to tech is going to have, being an experienced recruiter. So they have to have the good foundational, or I would hope have the good foundational background.
Let me interrupt you. I won't let you run on this time. I'll come back to this Elon Musk thing. Here's what his question is. Tell me about some of the most difficult problems you've worked on and how you solved them. He said the people who really solved the problem know exactly how they solved it. They can describe the little details, but a recruiter who has no functional experience can't assess the answer. They can't ask any follow-up questions. Even a recruiter who's worked in the field a lot is I think going to be at a loss. Dave, and then Mario. What, Mario? Then Dave.
The problem is the willingness to learn. That's
okay, but how do they learn? Okay, some people said...
Dave gave a good example. I mean, in tech, we have lots of information available on YouTube and all. And also for audio, AV, or audio visual stuff, we also have information. I don't disagree with David on that point. But I was talking about someone who can hit the ground running and start immediately doing something.
Yeah, me too.
So that's
by the way,
from a business perspective.
I taught myself from YouTube how to change a fuse in my car. I never thought I would be able to do it. The cigarette lighter, the power thing wasn't working. And I read an article. It said the fuse is probably gone. And I didn't understand from the article how to do it. So I went through a few videos on YouTube. They showed the exact car. the exact
That's
model.
easy.
And some middle-aged lady who was not a technical hands-on person, she did it, but she didn't show how to take out the this cartridge to get to the fuse box. Some other guy did. So I mean, there is a wealth of stuff on
Yes.
YouTube. It's absolutely amazing, David and Mario. You're right about that. Although, yeah, I think you have to test it against every specific question.
Yeah,
Dave, is
because
there any? Go ahead.
There is a lot of garbage content too. I mean, you have to validate the content that you're using as a learning point, right? It's still trial and error to some extent, but just like if you got in a field that you are familiar with, if you
Give an example. Don't ramble. Example.
Okay, so you're working in healthcare and you're trying to recruit for a cardiologist and you've never recruited one before. You have to figure out what is cardiology. So you define the key terms and you ask good questions amongst the hiring manager and you'll be able to learn
No.
from
You were
that.
saying, I thought you were going to tell us, this is the job. This is how you figure out a good information from YouTube. I gave you a good example about how I changed a fuse in the car. And I could not
you would have-
conceive that I could ever do it. Okay.
Why not,
Yeah.
Animal? It's easy.
Well, now I know it's easy.
I work on a 35-year-old Jeep at times, so.
Okay. Well, this wasn't a new car either. But Dave, so I thought Dave was going to come and say, look, this is a kind of job, some people are going to tell you that Martians are actually bringing in the technology from this, and you have to communicate with them through some means, but ignore those. And if you use these terms, you're going to find stuff on YouTube that tell you exactly the questions you're going to have to ask a cardiologist and what a good cardiologist will know. Okay. But that's not what he came up with. How do you come up to assess a good cardiologist, Dave? I'll give you a final shot.
Well, I would get the key performance indicators directly from the hiring manager, what is important to them. And then I would craft my behavioral based questions around that.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
how I would.
This is a guy, maybe you joined the show late. I don't know. I'm dragging it out. This is a guy who just got a job and he's going to start in a few weeks and he wants to learn something before he gets to talk to the hiring manager. Okay. Question finished. Okay.
Can I interject something?
Go ahead.
Okay. One thing the guy can find out is before he starts the job is how many roles he has to fill as soon as possible.
So he should know. You think they would tell him
if
that?
there are going to be like 20 to 30 roles to fill, he better work with an agency. If not, he cannot fill it.
This
Okay,
guy
like
can't
4 to
stop
5
selling.
roles.
I hope
No, I'm not
he's.
selling.
I
I'm
can't.
not
I hope
selling.
he's
We are not
selling
in-
here. I can't use him. Okay. I hope
We are
he's
not-
like that
we are
on the
not
job.
No, see, Animal, it's about business results. Okay. If you're going to have 30 positions with internal recruiters open for 6-7 months, that's an utter loss from a business perspective. Okay, I'm just talking the business side of this. Okay.
Okay.
So he needs to actually strategize how he fills. David, do you agree with me or not on that?
Yeah, I do think that in certain instances, definitely it's crucial to partner with agencies when you have a crazy volume and you have a small team.
Yeah.
Usually I would say like startups would be a great place from a tech perspective that partner a lot with agencies versus a more, medium-sized established company.
Okay. Dave, we're ending the show. Do you want to plug yourself? Do you have anything you want to advertise about yourself?
Nope, just an internal corporate recruiter, sourcer, and
Okay. You've got to organize your thoughts a little better, but you've got a great speaking voice. I like the sound of it. MarioTheRecruiter.com, clearance jobs in the United States. He's got all kinds of stuff going, but go there to MarioTheRecruiter.com. You'll find out everything about him. Clang.so, our good friend Ivan in Switzerland, he built his own applicant tracking system. Check it out. And that's it. Thanks. I had fun. Bye, everybody. Even if nobody else had fun.